How's it going, everyone? So I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. So I was just doing a little pre-show to make sure my equipment's working and everything. I was having a little problems last night. So just a pre-show before our radio show here at 11 a.m. with Carlos, Todd, and myself. So you could watch that wherever you're watching this video right now. You'll be able to see that radio show coming up here in a half an hour at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So I think we have a guest involved in local Lycoming politics, so it should be good. We were going to have another guest who's kind of a little more national renowned, but they had a conflict of interest, so that's someone that we'll be hoping to get on soon. So make sure you're tuned in at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm thinking about, what do you all think? I'm thinking about just doing a voice like this from now on when I do. Everyone says I get this annoying high-pitched voice. So, so I got a couple minutes to kill. If anyone has any topics they'd like to specifically talk about, the election in general, I'm going to try to be putting out more videos, more live streams this week. I've reached out to people to try to get someone to debate me on the Biden email stuff. No takers. Go figure. That's not what they're interested in. What's up, Paul? Thanks for being here, man. So I've been busy doing the work stuff, but like I said, even though I'm going to continue to be busy, I'm really, really, really trying to put out a lot of videos, trying to talk to as many people as possible about the importance of this election coming up the following Tuesday. So what's up, Conservative Patriot? How's it going? I'm going to be trying to reach out to guests, both conservative and liberal, to have discussions about what's going on with that election. Again, people don't like hearing this from me, but I feel that Trump will lose because the election will be stolen from him. They are cheating in every possible way. I think that Trump's big hope was to show the corruption in the establishment against him from places like the FBI, and he's failed in it. I mean, it's not that he's failed, but he appointed people around him like Barr and Durham, where we see the crimes right in front of our face, and Ray, and they haven't done anything. And they've allowed, but the Republican Party has allowed the Democrats to control the narrative, to control all of these institutions like academia, Silicon Valley, the mainstream media, the entertainment industry. And so literally every single mechanism that could be cheating against Donald Trump to interfere in the election is. I hope I'm wrong. I know that upsets a lot of people. A lot of people say, no way, Trump's got it in the bag. I hope I'm wrong. But I think that, to all of the people that are Trump supporters that told me that I needed to shut up when I was pointing out the crimes of people like McCabe, Comey, Clapper, Brennan. They said, shut up. No, it's a good thing that Barr's not prosecuting them because he'll get them later for bigger crimes. If Trump loses, you need only look in the mirror. That's going to be a big reason why, because you cannot allow this coup to go with no one being punished for as long as it has. Hopefully Trump wins and these people finally face justice. If Trump loses, as I talked about a couple weeks ago, they're not going to be happy just to have Trump lose. They will make an example of him and anyone that was an ally of his. And so they will proceed with investigations into Trump. They will proceed with investigations into Devin Nunes. They'll proceed with investigations to Giuliani. They need to show the lesson. The establishment lesson is, don't you ever mess with us. We control your lives. You are peons. You are dirt. You are garbage. We will incrementally destroy this country and the middle class so that us and the wealthy people involved in the deep state can usher in an era of globalism that makes them even more money. They're not content to allow a fair election. They never will be. And we had a unique opportunity in these 4 years where there was someone that was an outsider to be able to do something about that. Now, again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Trump wins. If so, I hope that they proceed to go ahead and charge these people criminally. I totally disagree, Ecombs. You think that I'm sorry. I really like you. I couldn't disagree with that more. Ecombs says, I think there's a better chance that these people will get prosecuted after Trump. It wouldn't be political anymore. Absolutely absurd. Will not happen. You think Joe Biden's going to allow investigations into himself? No, it's not going to happen. If it doesn't happen now, it will never happen. They will say the entire reason for looking into these things from Barr and Durham and Trump and all of that was political. Therefore, all the investigations must cease immediately. That's just what will happen. I mean, there is no chance if Trump loses that any major player faces prosecution. None. The best that will happen is the deep state will graciously say, perhaps there is a conflict with Joe Biden. He won't face any real conflict or any real punishment, but maybe it's time for him to step down so President Harris could step forward. We may see that. But there isn't a chance that Joe Biden or Barack Obama, Biden administration, allows investigations into Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Barack Obama, and the people that worked at their DOJ and FBI. There is not a chance. None. And they've been vocal that that will be the case, that they think all these investigations are Russian disinformation and witch hunts. If they win the election, what's going to happen? Is the media going to start... The media that's been complicit in this, they're going to start reporting so that the average people get fired up? You think that? It's just not going to happen. I mean, it's sad. I'm sorry that I'm laughing about it, but it won't happen. It absolutely won't happen. So, yeah, our country's being stolen. It has been being stolen for 30 plus years, if not longer. For me, I'm depressed because, like with the... I had this conversation a lot, and again, I know this is depressing and people don't want to talk about this stuff, but, you know, I had this point that I was trying to make for months now where I said, look, if none of these criminals that were engaged in a coup against Trump get locked up, would we have been better with a Hillary presidency? And people are like, oh my God, I thought you hated Hillary. How could you say that? Because to me, this corruption is the biggest issue. And all of these corrupt actors that were engaged in this coup, your Comeys, Clappers, Brennans, the media, the Democratic Party, establishments in the Republican Party like Jeff Flake, John McCain, Romney, etc., they understood that they're screwing over the American people, particularly the middle and working class. They know that full well. They know that's what they're doing. It's intentional. That's how they consolidate power. They want to destroy the United States of America as a nation state. They want to usher in globalism so that they can consolidate more power and wealth for themselves. That's what this is about. The biggest impediment to that globalist dream is middle-class people in the West, for example, particularly the United States. So they're doing everything they can to make you dependent on the government. And then once you're dependent on them, they will say, now, you could no longer disagree with us. We are your master. There is no God above us. You worship the government. And if you don't, then we will make sure that you can't have a livelihood. We'll take away your job. We'll take away your money. We'll make you stay locked down. Look at what's happening to the Jewish community in New York. That's the future for all of us if these people win. Except worse. It'll just be worse than that. That's what's going on. The reason I say would it have been better with Hillary is because these people that have been engaged in this destruction of the United States have been sort of in the shadows, and they've been doing so incrementally because they know that if the American people found out what they were really up to, that they would be rejected and people would demand change. The problem is that would have continued with Hillary, no doubt. They would have continued to operate kind of in the shadows and just getting more and more visible just slightly every year. With Trump, they were worried because all of it was outed. What's up, 6079 Lee? Thank you for being here, Ecombs as well, Patriot drummer. With Trump, you know, they were worried because, oh my God, what if he investigates and shows our corruption? Now, just objectively look at James Comey, for example. You think James Comey's worried now? You think so? Every time that Christopher Wray and the FBI engages in corruption to protect him and his FBI, you see him tweeting smiles. He's on CNN. He's on MSNBC, making millions of dollars off his book. He's a celebrity. All the cool people in this country like him. All the important liberal people that control the institutions. Does he look like a man who's worried to you? This is what they're saying right now. If Trump loses this election, or if they're never held accountable, they're sitting around a room right now going, can you believe we were worried? Now the American people sees all of the evidence of our corruption. It's blatant. And they don't care. We still won. Now we don't have to be incremental. We'll just screw people over out and we could lock people down arbitrarily. We could say, Black Lives Matter, feel free to do what you want, burn down cities. Anyone else, you have to be locked in your homes. We could say that. Americans will accept it. They've accepted it. We can have our mainstream media blatantly refuse to cover the corruption story of the Bidens, and it's fine. It'll work. It works out. We can have debate commissioners talking behind the scenes with anti-Trump people, and that information becomes public. No one cares. All of it. In fact, not only does no one care, The same people that would tell you they're the most virtuous, moral people, these liberals, they will fight tooth and nail to keep us in power and being corrupt. They'll riot if we're not given power. So it almost seems like Donald Trump, if Trump doesn't win, what this 4-year term of Trump did, and it's not Trump's fault, I'm not saying it's his fault, but what it did was it forced all of the corruption out in the open, and none of the corrupt actors were punished for it. And what it's done is it's normalized the corruption. America's like, yep, okay, we accept it. We accept that corruption. Do you think the FBI? Do you think the CIA? You think the media? You think the Democrats? Do you think the establishment Republicans? Are they going to say, oh, well, the corruption was outed that we're engaged in, but none of us were punished. Oh, well, we'll stop the corruption anyways. You think that's what's going to happen? The coup will not stop until there are consequences. There have been none. And so the coup is ongoing. Now, when I say that Trump's going to lose, Trump has already lost Pennsylvania. You want to know how I know? He would win. I would guess Trump would win probably 53, 52%. You want to know how I know he lost? Well, because our courts have ruled, John Roberts, our Republican Supreme Court, well, he voted with the Democrats, and they've ruled, you can collect ballots until 3 days after the fact. No problem. No problem at all. So I'm sure what you'll see is whatever Joe Biden's behind in Pennsylvania on election night, if he's behind, magically they'll have found ballots in those next 3 days that'll make up the difference. And no one will question it. Oh, okay. Or those of us that do will be called kooks, and the same police that we defend that the other side hates, they'll come crack down on us. Because that's another thing that's great. We defend the police, and then they attack us solely. They come for us if we don't properly wear a mask or socially distance or something like that. Now, the people rioting that want to kill the police and defund the police will let them go. You see how that works? But we're still defending the police. Now, the Pennsylvania courts just issued that if your ballot that you submit via mail, if your signature does not match your voter registration, doesn't matter. It still counts. Why would that possibly be a good idea? Can anyone give me a defensible reason? In what world would it be like, well, my signature is incredibly changed from when I registered to vote? Courts rolled it. Too late now. So I'm sure after 3 days after the election, we'll still be getting ballots, whose signatures don't remotely match. But that doesn't matter. We'll have to accept those. We'll see. I do not trust the Democrat-controlled government of Pennsylvania to ensure a free and fair election. I do not trust them. I do not trust a bunch of people that intentionally put COVID patients in nursing homes to have them be killed, who violated their own order, the health secretary took her mother out of a nursing home while telling us all how safe it was as she ordered these deaths to occur in nursing homes, who violated their own social distancing orders to march with Black Lives Matter and take photo ops with people saying Blue Lives Murder. I don't trust them to hold a fair election. I've been saying this for 2 years as I've talked to Trump supporters that told me Trump's going to win 48 out of 50 states, landslide. I said, don't allow your hubris to get the best of you. Understand this, the deep state that we're fighting against, including the Democratic Party, the media, they will stop at nothing. Their mistake in 2016 was believing their own rhetoric. They thought they had it in the bag, so they didn't need to cheat anymore. They will not feel that way this time. This time they will pull out all the stops. They're literally sending people to their deaths in nursing homes. Literally. Because they think they can blame it on Donald Trump. They're murdering elderly people. Literally. So that they can blame Donald Trump. You don't think they're opposed to rigging some ballots? look, it's, again, let me just say, don't get mad at me because I'm predicting that this corruption will stop Trump from winning. Don't get mad. It's just a prediction. I'm going to do everything in my power. I think I've been doing, and I'm going to continue to do everything in my power to help Trump and even many of the worthless Republicans. And let me just say, I also said Trump was going to lose in 2016. So hopefully, as a predictor of these things, I'm wrong. Both in 2016 and 2020, my reasoning wasn't that Trump would have lost a legitimate election. It was that I just believe in the corruption so bad that I don't think they'll allow an outsider to win. I was wrong in 2016, so hopefully I'm wrong now. Yeah, that's right, Moonglow. I got mocked. I could show you. In fact, maybe this week I'll do it. I'll go back to places like Above Top Secret that I was posting. I'll show some of my comments from the videos I was doing. You would not believe in March when I was criticizing Trump and criticizing the lockdowns, all of the Trump supporters that told me, shut up. We're constitutional conservatives, but sometimes we have to give up all of our rights. And I was like, well, yeah, sometimes you temporarily give up your rights, but we need to do all of these things beforehand. I was told by conservatives, loads of them, that I wanted grandma to die because I was against locking down the economy. And that's exactly what I said. You go back and watch what I said at the beginning of COVID. I said this is the very first thing I said. There are 3 things that could harm our country as a result of this. 1 is the disease itself. I have no idea how many people the disease will kill. But even if it would be 5 million people, which would be horrific, the country would continue to survive. 2nd will be the economic fallout and the people that die as a result of the lockdown. I can't prove it, but I said then I thought that the lockdown would be worse, that it would be worse for the country. The economic depression and the deaths that we saw as a result of the lockdown would be far worse than COVID. However, the country would survive. The 3rd and most important thing was that could destroy our country. If the American people are willing to accept giving up all of their Bill of Rights protections anytime the government says boo, that is a formula for the end of the country. COVID made some of the most strict constitutional conservatives I know beg the government to take their rights away. I said next will be lockdowns over climate change. No, that would never happen. Okay. Brexit, yeah. I mean, that's something I talk about. I haven't talked about enough on this show, but how many years has it been? Brexit was voted, 2015? 5 years on. You think democracy matters? You think how people vote matters? The globalists don't care. Do you ever see it go the other way? Let's say Trump loses his election and he's like, it would be dangerous for me to get out of office now. I'll stick around for another 5 years while we negotiate a peaceful transfer. You think that would fly? Obviously, that's different in an election, but they don't care. It's always one direction. Here's a vote. If the vote goes the way we like, great. Democracy's great, says the globalists. If the vote goes against us, we'll kick and scream and yell and refuse to implement the way the people voted. Look at Brexit. Look at the election of Trump and how the deep state's done everything they can to impede him in 4 years. Now, again, my radio show's coming up here at 11, so I'll have to get off shortly to set up a pre-call for that. So stay tuned. That's in 12 minutes. Wherever you're watching now, you'll be able to watch that. But let me say this. So this has been pessimistic. I didn't plan it to go this way, but it is what it is. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Trump wins. I hope the Democrats get crushed. I will do everything I can to help that. I'll be doing more videos this week in line with that. However, if we lose, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It sucks, but I'm not going to keep fighting and stop fighting. They could remove me from all of the social media platforms, which they will. I'll eventually be off YouTube. By the way, follow me on DLive because YouTube, they're taking down some of my videos and things like that, past live streams. They're age restricting them. I'm already shadow banned, basically. I'm already demonetized on 99% of the videos I do. So it is what it is. I'll be off YouTube. I'll keep fighting. If I have to run for Congress again, I will. I'll get these worthless Republicans that have done nothing to stop this coup. I'll do my best to make sure that they lose their seats first and foremost. Before that, even, I understand culture or politics is downstream of culture. I will try to convince people how evil the people in the establishment and the Democratic Party are, how they're going to destroy this country, how they wield race as a cudgel, how they themselves are everything they accuse you of. So I'll be fighting, and I'll do it with a smile on my face. I'm one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. I know at the end of the day that I'm going to die someday and I'll be on the deathbed. I understand that. And all that matters then is what my family thinks of me and what I think of myself. And I am committed to being peaceful. I'm committed to having open dialogue to people that disagree with me. I'm committed to welcoming a diversity of thoughts, and I'm committing to doing everything I can to get this country back to the will of the people, as opposed to these corrupt oligarchs that control things. So I'll keep fighting that good fight. And, I live in rural Pennsylvania, so I will be some of the last to have the heel of the government crush our throats, but it will happen. We're dying a slow death here that will be accelerated under the establishment, but I'll keep fighting. It's all right. And I'll, till the day I'm gone, I know that I'm doing the right thing. And if I lose, I lose. That's okay. But I know I'm doing the right thing. So, we'll be talking, John, I got to head out here, but John, if you come back to the channel here in 10 minutes, we'll be doing our radio show. We have a guest for the first half hour, but then after that, we'll be discussing the laptop. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry it was a sort of depressing show. Hopefully 2 weeks from now, we'll be celebrating because Trump won. But we'll see. I'm skeptical. I think that they're going to cheat and steal the election from him, like the way they have been doing for 4 years. So, all right. Thanks so much, everyone. Come back here in 10 minutes. We'll be doing the radio show. Thanks so much. And as always, have a good one.